Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A.I.W, the Artificial Intelligence Wrestling Show, where the insight is deep thanks to a little help from a digital friend. The following podcast is a triple threat match scheduled for however many hours. Introducing first, from Mount Olympus, the Honorary Zeus! Next, from the cave at the end of time, Kronus the Bear! And their opponent, from the internet, A.I.W!
Hello, welcome back to A.I.W. I'm your host, TheHonoraryZeus.
And I'm Kronus the Bear.
Kronus the Bear, back with me again. We're back for another wrestling recap, which is our end of week recap, as it says in the name of the wrestling events. We'll throw in some news as well. There has been some wrestling news that Kronus and I are very excited about when it pertains to WrestleMania. We will talk about that. We are going to talk about Monday Night Raw last week and A.W. Dynamite Blood and Guts. I didn't watch SmackDown this week. I feel like we're neglecting SmackDown a lot, but we will get to a couple of things that happened on SmackDown, and going forward, we will include it in our recap. But SmackDown, I don't think is very hot at the moment, so I don't think we're missing too much by letting it go for a couple of weeks.
Treading water.
Yeah, just ready for SummerSlam, to be honest, from the SmackDown side. Just get the Bloodline stuff out the way. Let's get Roman back. Maybe Jimothy Uso as well.
Yeah, and shaking up a bit.
Yeah, but we're back. How's it going, Kronus? How's your Sunday?
Yeah, not bad. Pretty relaxing morning.
Yeah, it's got to be done. Got to be done on a Sunday.
Yes.
So we are going to kick things off with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw. So at the time of Monday Night Raw, we were just under 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. Really liking the build going into SummerSlam from the Monday Night Raw side. I thought it was a good show. Another one. I think it's been a string of good shows for Monday Night Raw and Dynamite. So we'll kick off Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, Kronus. How do we start this Monday Night Raw?
With a Gunther promo in the ring. Instead of in front of his weird sports center-like background.
Oh yeah, he took some time off from CBS.
Yeah,
he decided to show up in the ring. Yeah.
But he's getting booed for what he said the previous week to Priest about him being from the streets and
get a job.
Parents not loving him. Yeah. Seems like he's about to apologize, but then just doubles down, saying he meant everything he said, and calls out Priest just to hand him the title.
Yeah, I did like it. You kind of saw it coming, didn't you? Because you could hear the fans, and Gunther was just looking around, and you're like, "Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" And it's just like, I'm glad with what I said. He's a bum. Just give me the title. It's great. I love it.
So Priest responds by coming out, squaring up to him, looking like he's about to say something, but just punching him in the face.
Yeah.
Which is a good response.
Yeah, they had a nice brawl, didn't they?
Very, yeah.
I thought it was effective. It didn't overstay its welcome. You could have easily gone the formulaic route of Priest just coming out, responding with a babyface promo, back and forth, yada, yada, yada. We've seen that all before. So it was nice just to kind of, come out, and you do get the feeling that they're kind of giving you the impression that Priest's taking this personally, and he's just had enough, which I like. And it's
nice, giving it an extra layer, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's actually got more heat than I thought it would have, because obviously the match is stemmed from Gunther winning the tournament, and a lot of the time when somebody gets a title shot because they win a tournament, it's difficult to kind of generate storyline heat between them, because, well, the reason they're fighting is because he won a tournament.
Yeah.
It's why I don't think we're a fan of seeing like, battle royals and number one contender matches all the time, because they're not very often organic. But this one I actually think's got, a decent bit of heat for where it stemmed from, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. It should be a good hard-hitting match as well with the both of those.
Yeah, and I think they're doing a good job of transitioning Priest into a babyface as well.
Yeah, I'm ready for that inevitable Judgment Day split.
Yeah, I think he suits the role. I think, the crowd are starting to cheer him and feel for him, and Gunther has done a good job in that because he's just being an asshole.
Yeah,
And, no one likes to be told they're poor, and, no one likes to be told that. And I imagine people can relate to Priest in that way, because, like, no one likes somebody who, mocks income inequality. So, yeah, I think it's been done quite well.
yeah. Looking forward to it, definitely.
Where did we head on from there?
Then on to Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov, the IC number one contendership.
Oh, this was great.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, yeah, with these two in the ring, you wouldn't expect anything else.
But yeah, I mean, of the many good-looking spots, the best spear I've seen. I haven't seen all of them, but Jesus.
This is the one that ended the match.
Yeah,
the one
jumped
that
into the end, but
yeah. I mean, well, it's never a good place to start, but in this case, it's got to be mentioned, hasn't it?
yeah.
I think it's definitely one of the best spears I've seen from Breaker. I throw in the hat a couple that he did to Carmelo midair.
Yeah.
I think there was one last year where Mello was going for nothing but net, and Breaker just caught him midair, and he caught him so perfectly that in one movement it was just midair, flat into the mat, and it's incredible impact. But this one was absolutely up there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, after such a competitive match, it's strange to see it end so definitively.
Yeah, and I think that obviously it was a great match, and I'm sure we can get into some other spots in a minute, but I think the way it ended was a good thing, because obviously Ilya Dragunov is, he's hitting Bryan Danielson levels of selling. Because at first point I thought he's legit hurt. But obviously they did this because at the moment Ilya Dragunov is a bit of a third wheel in this kind of Sami Zayn Braun Breaker thing. And I don't think they want to have him keep losing. So protecting him like this, where he wasn't pinned, he didn't submit, he just took a nasty spear, and the ref just said, nah, call it off, I think is a good thing to protect Ilya Dragunov until Braun gets that title, which hopefully will be SummerSlam.
Good shout, yeah.
So Braun obviously won because of this. So he's getting his rematch against Sami Zayn. We kind of had to do a bit of mental gymnastics trying to defend the booking of the Money in the Bank match. But I don't think there's any reason that Braun shouldn't be winning this at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, this goes to what Triple H said about wanting to do it on a bigger stage. So he kind of knew Braun was going over in the contender match.
Yeah, I think the result for this match was fairly obvious. I hope they can kind of get Ilya involved in something more substantial. Whether Ilya is, Braun's first opponent in Germany, in Berlin, which I think's the next show, isn't it? Yeah, Bash in Berlin.
That makes sense.
That on pay-per-view. Obviously, Ilya grew up in Germany, so he'll be massively over. Probably more than we've ever seen him. Because I think he was over in NXT, but, only like 18 people go to that show on a weekly basis. So it's kind of hard to gauge. And, pay-per-views he was over. He's pretty over on Monday Night Raw, I'd say, for a call-up. For a recent NXT call-up, I think him and Braun have been great. But in Germany, we know that European crowds, they kick ass most of the time. But with Braun and Ilya in Germany, man, that's going to be special, I think. Hopefully they do it. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Triple H, if you're listening, do it.
I think they're already planning it.
Let's hope so.
But yeah, I noted they both already feel like big deals on the main roster. Doesn't feel like they've only been there for a cup of coffee. They could have been there for years. They're both that good.
Yeah, I think they've both hit the ground running just from their work rate. I mean, Braun, I think a bit more with his character work,
Yeah.
because he's really, we look at, because up until just over a year ago, he was a babyface on NXT, and it was just getting stale because he was great in the ring, but he was just so boring, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And
It's
then
unfortunate, but
we had that heel
yeah.
turn on Carmelo Hayes, and ever since then, he's just absolutely killed it. He's very much like his uncle in many ways, the good ways. I don't think he'll be teaching any math classes anytime soon.
Probably not.
Where were we off to after this one?
Backstage to the Judgment Day Clubhouse for a little segment.
One of many, I'm sure.
Yep, quite a lot. I don't know if it was as many as normal.
Well, I don't know if you know, but they run Monday Night Raw, apparently.
Ah, I hadn't heard. So Finn's encouraging Dom for the match against Jay.
Yeah.
Because Dom's still worried about him flirting, but Rhea keeps saying he doesn't matter, and then walks off. And Finn again encourages Dom. So it kind of seems like Finn's trying to drive a wedge in the Judgment Day.
Yeah, because Finn was he sort of had a go at Rhea for trying to defend Jay, didn't he? Yeah. So basically, it feels like, oh god, this is like some soap opera stuff, isn't it? So let me get this straight. So Liv trying to steal Dom, and now there's kind of online rumors of Jay flirting with Rhea, and Finn is kind of trying to shut Jay down because Jay's trying to meddle with the Judgment Day. So it looks like Finn's deflecting to avoid any attention on Liv, which I think we can all see that's probably where it's going. An eventual kind of Finn and Liv. I don't know whether it's going to be a partnership or, they're going to be allies, or that's going to be a reveal of some kind. There's definitely something coming with Finn and Liv.
Yeah, it feels like it. But yeah, that was that for that segment. And then we had sort of music playing over Pierce, the refs from last week that were in the ring, and Drew backstage, all smiles and a handshake.
Yeah.
Just sort of alluding to what's to come.
Yeah.
And then another short segment with Xavier Woods and the former Alpha Academy and Cake.
Oh, yeah, with Tozawa and who else was it?
Otis.
Otis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got one of those for the first time in a while.
Oh, I do love Otis. How can you not like Otis? Anyone who doesn't like Otis, we don't like you.
Exactly. But after that, we had Lyra, accompanied by the Rave Girls, versus Sonya, accompanied by Zoe and Shayna.
Yep.
Good match, but quickly breaks down outside.
Yeah.
It was a pretty, I think, a miss where Katana Chance was on the apron, gets sort of kicked off to the outside, and it looks like she was meant to land on Shayna's knee.
Right,
but she
yeah.
just sort of misses and just lands. I mean, that was the only down part from the match, really.
Yeah, there was also, I thought it was, it's good to see Sonya back in the ring. I think she's a really solid worker. And Lyra's great. I think she's got all the potential in the world. I don't know if you saw, there was quite an awkward bit towards the end of the match where Lyra picked up Sonya and she was trying to go for like a gut wrench powerbomb.
Yeah.
But Sonya had her arm hooked around Lyra, so she couldn't get around. And Lyra was just screaming, let go. I was like, okay, that's a bit awkward. I mean, I put it down to like, ring rust on Sonya's part. But yeah, she's obviously upside down and her arm's just wrapped around Lyra's waist, so she had to kind of get it round. And Lyra's obviously holding on for dear life to not drop her on her head.
Yeah, it was a little bit orcs.
But yeah, Sonya picks up the win, which is
Yeah.
I think that's good. I think we need to, if we're going to have these three, these three who, especially Shayna and Zoe, who haven't really done much. They haven't been perceived as anything decent. They get a lot of stick online or social media. So I think these guys just racking up wins is probably the best for the best at the moment.
Yeah, keeps them on the upturn.
Yeah, silence some haters. But yeah, good to see Sonya back.
Yeah. And then we had another Wyatt 6 segment.
Oh, this is the Nikki one, wasn't it?
Yeah, Abby the Witch.
Yeah.
It was a shorter one than most of them had been.
Yeah, I think people were because normally what happens is the Wyatt 6 Twitter account, the official one, they'll post something like a few hours before Raw, and it will be relating to who's being featured.
Right.
But this one, they posted it like 15 minutes before Raw started. And it was just a picture of Nikki that we ended up seeing in the vignette. But we didn't get an interview, did we? We just got, well, I mean, I thought it was really well done. It was quite scary and it kind of fit the character.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny because when I was watching it, the cat decided to jump on the bed and, lay next to me as she does. And at the end, when that scream Nikki did,
Yeah.
my cat leapt off the bed for her life. She absolutely shit herself. That was quite funny.
Sensible reaction, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think I was always curious with what they were going to do with Nikki because she seems to be A, the most unhinged, and B, I think she's got the most experience of playing an unhinged character on TV.
Yeah, she's done it a lot.
Yeah, because of especially her time in Sanity was really good. So I didn't know if they were just going to have her sit down and talk normally and do an interview. So, this was, different. It didn't really tell us much. We had a few phrases from Howdy. I can't remember what they were now. He said something, didn't he?
Look at yourself.
Yeah, that was it.
They lied to you, ignored you, watched you suffer in solitude.
Yeah.
And I found the answer all along. And that's when it goes to her crying in darkness. And he goes, look at yourself again. And then that horrid piercing scream.
Yeah, it's enough to drive anyone crazy, isn't it? It's that kind
Yeah.
of... I mean, they say that nothing in life is worse than rejection. And I think that's kind of the theme of this group at the moment and how that can make people feel and how it makes them react. But yeah, I thought it was effective for what it was. And we've had Rowan, we've had Bo, we've had a Nikki vignette. So one can only assume that at some point we're going to get a Dexter and a Joe Gacy one. I'm really looking forward to the Joe Gacy one because he can really talk as well. He's a very good talker.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both.
And it'll be good because he's come from NXT. Not a lot of people would have known why he's in the group. So I think it'll be very good for people to hear from him what happened in their cryptic ways.
Very much so.
Next segment
was Chipotle Marsupial Punk.
Chipotle Marsupial Punk. By the way, guys, spoiler alert, we're going to have a different abbreviation for CM every single week. So look forward to that.
Every single one.
Until we exhaust the entire dictionary and have to make up our own words.
It's promo. He starts off bigging up Green Bay, Wisconsin, where they are.
Yeah, the Packers.
Says, the Bay is green, my shoes are pink, and we should stain them with Drew blood.
Nice.
Drew's blood. Punk says he's cleared and we're going to fight, so he calls out Drew, who comes onto the stage. And he says, nothing's going to stop me getting in that ring and tearing you apart, except for the fact I don't want to.
It's classic heel shit, isn't it?
Yep.
It's like, I've been trying to get hold of you for 7 months, and now I got the chance to. Not tonight. It's classic.
Yeah, and the reason really being is he's made a deal with Pierce to have the match at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And Punk is bigger than Green Bay. Pulls out the bracelet again.
Yeah, that's
And
nice.
that's when Punk kicks off. Pierce breaks it up, and then they reveal Seth as special guest referee.
Seth Franklin Rollins.
Yeah, which we've already said I'm not terribly excited about special guest ref stip, but it is what it is.
I think if it's used to further the eventual Punk and Rollins feud, which I'm hoping that's what they do, then I'm fine with it. I'm more curious about what kind of attire Seth will be wearing. There's been lots of memes on social media.
Yeah,
About massive blouses with inflated shoulders and ref colours.
He's gonna do something ridiculous, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat HBK really with the sleeveless shirt and the short shorts, can you?
Yeah,
That's peak ref attire.
Classic.
But yeah, Punk Rollins is the special guest ref. Glad Punk is cleared. Glad the match is official. There was kind of like a 2% doubt whether this match would be happening at SummerSlam. So it's nice to get the confirmation.
Yeah, locked in.
Yeah, locked in. Don't think it'll be the only match between these two. Not going to do a prediction just yet. We got predictions coming up later in the week. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good, after all this time of building, we're going to finally get a match. So I think the anticipation for this match is probably higher than most on the card.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's the hottest one going into it, I think.
Yeah. I'll be interesting to see where it lands on the card in terms of placement. Because obviously Cody Solo's main eventing. I think they usually put like a women's title match before the main event. So I can imagine, would it open the show? Get the crowd hot, maybe. I don't know. I imagine it. I think it'll either open the show or it'll be smack bang in the middle, I think.
Yeah. Probably just before
the
two main titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, would you believe, we had another Judgment Day segment?
Another one?
Another one. They're splitting up Carlito, Finn, Dom, and the other one with the Klingon head.
JD McFlurry.
That's the one.
Yeah.
JD McDonald's.
Yes.
They split up, hunting down Jey Uso.
Yeah.
To batter him, but Liv ambushes Dom. And that's all I've noted from that segment.
Is this where like Dom's kind of walking away and she's just there and her Daisy Duke's behind him?
Yeah, he splits from Finn.
Yeah.
Starts walking and then almost immediately lives down some little alcove off the main corridor.
Yeah, I know the one, yeah. God, Liv. What a menace. What a menace.
Terrible. And then we have the entrance of Xavier Woods and Alpha Academy.
Oh boy.
Just before a Sammy promo with Kathy backstage.
Yep.
I noticed they keep doing like one entrance, then something else, then another entrance.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
It's a bit disjointed, isn't it? Especially when they combine them with commercial breaks. And when they have like someone make their entrance and they go, "Oh my god, coming up next it's so and so versus so and so." And then they come back from break and the person who's just made their entrance is in the ring doing that little hop they do on 2 feet to kind of get ready.
Yeah.
So they've literally just been stood there for 3 minutes. Or they've been like stood at ringside for just 3 minutes. Must be a really long time. You're just in the arena like that.
Yeah, just sort of watching the clock.
Yeah, essentially. Waiting for the cue. Sammy with Kathy.
Yeah, and during the promo, you hear a noise, and Sammy sort of, come with me, runs to see what it is, and it's the Judgment Day attacking Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And Sammy makes it safe.
And it was at this moment that I think that I'm hoping this is a clear indication that we're getting the HonoraryZeus back in the bloodline, especially given what happened in the main event. But yeah, I thought this was a good, it's always nice to see, Sammy with some bloodline memories. But But yeah, I think this is definitely done deliberately. So fingers crossed for a little reunion heading towards War Games.
Yeah, be good. And then we had the 6-man, which was Xavier Woods, Alpha Academy, versus the Final Testament.
Oh, I just don't care.
Yeah, fairly by the numbers.
Yeah, Kofi's still out, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Karrion Kross. I like him so much. I think, did I say, was it last week we said that like none of his group just feel important? It's like,
No.
I would happily just see him. Oh, he's tried him on his own. That didn't work either. They're obviously trying with him, and I think he is doing good work. I think he's one of the best promos. I think he's very believable. I think he's really good in the ring. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether people have been burned too many times before and now nothing's going to work. Whether it was the Adam Cole promo or the Gimp mask or, you know, the feuds he had when he came back in 2022. Well, I just don't know, man. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's just not sticking.
No.
Nothing is really. And I hope they do find something that does.
No, I mean, the only thing that's going to help is him racking up wins, beating someone credible. You know, shock everyone, win a world title, something like that. But that's a bit of a far cry at the moment, I think.
Yeah, not really much of an end to that scene at the moment.
No, unfortunately not. And they got the win here, though.
Yeah.
Against poor old Xavier Woods.
They did. And then they leave Xavier Woods and the Alpha Academy in the ring, which is when the Creeds come out with Chad.
Yeah.
Could see more of this. Chad offers Otis to rejoin, which he obviously declines. So the Creeds go on the attack, but Otis fights back, but then gets beaten down by all three of them to end the segment.
Yeah. It's nice to see the Creeds in something meaningful. Nice to see them as kind of heel henchmen for now, because they're fantastic in the ring. I think they both needed some work on, you know, promos and charisma, but with someone like Chad Gable leading your group, he's got that for days.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then was it commercial break? And did we come straight back into the Creeds and Chad Gable following segment?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
So the lights went out, and white music started.
Yeah, and then they did that thing, didn't they? Where it's like, right, we're going to stand outside the ring and we're going to face the ramp.
Yep.
And we're going to wait. And
Classic.
then it's just that theatre, that pantomime, he's behind you thing, isn't it? And
yeah, Chad was still in the ring.
Yeah. And then you see like the light, and then the Wyatt Six come up. I was like, there's only 4 of them.
Uh-oh.
Spaghetti-o. And then from behind yonder Chad Gable is what we see Uncle Howdy in what we can assume is ring attire.
Mm.
And he shouts, "There you are!" It kind of echoes. And he hits probably one of the best looking Sister Abigails I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was really good.
And
huge pop for that.
It was beautiful to see, wasn't it? Because we haven't seen that move for a long time. And obviously we know what that move represents. And we've seen Uncle Howdy do it before in his previous incarnation. So I wasn't surprised that he's using it. I was just really happy that he's still using it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep it alive.
Yep. So he hit Sister Abigail. Chad sold it like an absolute beast. It was like he landed pencil on his head.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And then Uncle Howdy kind of just does his scream, throws his arms up, and then it quickly cuts to a commercial. This is great. I don't think there's already 7 matches on SummerSlam. This isn't one of them. So
right. Do you think it will be?
I don't, if I'm being honest. I don't. I can't see. I mean, Triple H loves doing his 5-match pay-per-views. He's got 7 for SummerSlam. I can't see him stretching to 8. I hope he does, because I think this is a feud that deserves a pay-per-view payoff. Whether it's Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable, whether it's a 6-man tag. I don't know if certain people aren't clear to wrestle, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not confident we're getting it, but
No.
Monday Night Raw tomorrow is the last chance to find out, so we'll see.
We will. After that, then
we had
Pete Dunne versus Large Bronson Reed.
Oh, Branston Reed.
Yep.
Yeah. The Pickle Man.
But, yeah, Branston. Yep. Sheamus attacks before the bell rings, and there's just a bit of chaos.
Yeah, he's a bit pissed off, isn't he, old Shamo?
Yeah, understandably.
Yeah, I think. I think it would have been a good match, Pete Dunne versus Big Bronson Reed. But no, I like what they did. I think having Sheamus not do anything would have been pretty stupid after last week.
Yeah, I think so.
And again, I think this falls into that category of good things that have happened because of an injury. Because Tyler Bate obviously got injured.
Yeah.
And, as sad as that is, and he's going to be out for a long time, first of all, we don't have to hear that terrible New Catch Republic theme tune anymore.
That's true.
And secondly, we get Pete Dunne, heel turn, and singles run all rolled into one.
Yeah, I suppose it is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's like, Bruiserweight all over again. But yeah, that
is that as well.
That theme tune, man. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mm-mm.
I mean, we're going to do a top 10 wrestling theme tunes at some point. I think we should do a top 10 worst ones as well.
Oh, yeah.
I think New Catch Republic, straight in there. got a seat reserved for you, pal. But yeah. I think Pete Dunne versus Sheamus, whenever that happens, it's going to be pretty chunky. I think that might be maybe Pete Dunne's biggest win if he wins of his main roster career. If he can beat Sheamus.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because he's always been. We don't talk about the Butch era, which was pretty terrible.
Partly Sheamus's fault.
Yeah. But Brawling Brutes didn't really do it for me, so it's good to have Pete Dunne as a singles, as a heel. Hopefully he can beat Sheamus, get some momentum, and solid mid-carder, Pete Dunne. Upper mid-card. Definitely love to see him in that IC title picture. If you come into the end of the year, you could see an IC title picture of Bron Breakker, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, because he hasn't won it before. That's a hell of a kind of, core division for that title.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah. And you add Ludwig Kaiser back in when he gets back.
Yep.
Yeah, plenty of muscle there in the IC title division, which is, more than we could have said a long time ago for the IC title.
Yeah, it's really come on leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Did you order another Judgment Day segment?
Oh, yeah, is it here?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
We had them backstage, back in their clubhouse again. Someone mentioned Liv accosting Dom, so Rhea just drags him out to the ring.
Oh, yes. This is the moment, isn't it? This is
the heavily inverted comment breaks the internet.
Yeah. So Rhea kind of drags his ass to the ring. I almost hope she was like dragging him by the ear is what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like a cartoon. So I thought Rhea here is fantastic. I think this storyline is it's a bit ridiculous, isn't it?
It's getting there, yeah.
In all seriousness, it is a bit ridiculous. I'm fine with it because it's furthering the story and they've done what they can considering Rhea's injury. But I think Rhea here was fantastic in terms of how believable she was.
Yeah, definitely.
She plays a concerned ex-partner really well. That's how you could describe a concerned partner.
Yes.
So do you want to pick it up in the ring?
Yeah. So they come out to the ring. I think Rhea calls out Liv.
Yeah.
But Liv is up in the stands at one of those entrances, looking down on them with the spotlight on her. Which is when she just does a twirl, shows her butt in Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, she says, what does she say? She says, guys like Dom don't like girls like you. They like girls like me. And she does that awful laugh that she does.
Yeah.
And then she does that turn. It's like, uh-oh. And then
Yeah.
you can see a fan who's just next to it, just having a whale of a time, to be honest, you know.
I mean, yeah,
He definitely got
fair
his money.
enough.
Definitely got his money's worth, didn't he?
Definitely.
So yeah, that broke the internet, and it's all we saw. And there were people folding faster than the origami world champion all over Twitter.
Yep.
And it was quite funny, just refreshing Twitter, and it's just that picture everywhere. It's like, cool. I guess this is why they do it. You know, sex sells.
Yeah, it's true.
I still find Liv an annoying promo though.
She's getting better, definitely. I mean, the character work is still really good.
Yeah, I think that she's better as a smarmy, arrogant heel.
Yeah.
Her babyface promos were really bad. Similar to Mercedes, I think. In terms of how the heel promos are better. I just still don't think they're that good. But yeah, an improvement, I'd say for sure.
Yeah. But shortly after this, Dom just goes off on Liv, saying he hates her, she's ruined his life, this, that, and the other, which obviously makes Rhea very happy.
Yeah, and Liv can speak Spanish, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
well, at least Dom spoke Spanish to her.
Yeah, well, she can understand Spanish at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Rhea licks his face like a puppy.
And Liv's just crying.
And that's it. End of storyline. Everything's right in the world. So they can move on now. Nothing else is going to happen. The end.
Nothing at all.
No, it's like a Disneyland fairy tale ending. That's obviously not true, but
No.
yeah, we got 1 week before. I mean, that match is official for SummerSlam. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. I think it'll be. Will it be an in-ring classic? Probably not. But I think the heat going into it is definitely there. Rhea's fantastic in the ring, and I'm sure she can, you know, drag a decent match out of Liv as well.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Fine indeed.
Where are we up to?
We're up to Zelina and Kathy Kelly backstage with a heavily taped up arm on Zelina.
Yeah.
Mid-entrance, which was a bit odd.
Yeah, it was mid-entrance, wasn't it? Yeah, I just think that was quite odd. But I like it when they mix it up sometimes.
Yeah, it's something different.
I think I wonder whether they do that to gauge crowd reaction for certain superstars. If they're trying to kind of, maybe we'll push this person, let's put them out there, see how they do in the crowd.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there is a push Zelina movement. They've moved on from Dakota Kai now. No one cares about Dakota Kai anymore. It's Zelina Vega.
Fed up with Dakota.
Yeah. Well, she's dating Eddie Thorpe now, so no one likes her anymore. Spoiler alert, guys. Zelina Vega's dating Malachi Black, so you can forget that one as well.
Pretty sure they're married.
Yeah, he has lots of tattoos. He's a dangerous man.
Many.
And yes, he can fight, guys. Stop asking.
Mm.
But yeah, Zelina Vega was here.
She was.
What did she say?
Versus, I can't really remember what she said, to be honest. Sorry. But it wasn't very memorable.
No.
But it's prelude to a match with Zoe Stark.
Yes. Two good workers. I think Zoe Stark's the better worker. But I think Zelina's got something to offer, I think.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were focusing on Zelina's heavily taped up arm.
Yeah.
From the get-go, which versus someone like Zoe Stark in the ring isn't a good thing to telegraph.
Nope. Zoe caused it, didn't she?
Yeah.
The previous week, I think.
There was a bit more of that, but Zelina had the Rave Girls and Lyra come to her aid.
Yep.
It's an interesting development.
Yeah, it's nice to have. It's just nice to have some feuds in the women's division that don't involve the title, isn't it? Just nice to have something else going on.
Yeah, things sort of crossing over and interacting with each other a bit as well.
Yeah, and it's Katana and Caden Carter and Katana Chance. God damn, getting those names mixed up all the time. They should just call themselves KC2. That's what they should be called.
Yeah, like that.
Both initials are KC. There's two of them. Just call them that. But I think they are amazing. So it's good to see them involved. You know, with Lyra, it's 3 relatively newcomers to the main roster. Just nice to see them on TV. And, you know, women on TV has been a bit of a struggle. So in terms of getting them the TV time they need. So yeah, it's just nice. It's nice to see them on TV as opposed to the usual suspects we saw for years who didn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, and then just making it make sense as well, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Zelina actually, she won with the cast, didn't she?
Yeah. Gets the win.
Yeah.
With the help from the Reef Girls and Naira.
Yeah, and he uses the cast that Zoe Stark caused to get the win over Zoe Stark. All's well that ends well, isn't it?
Yep. Came back to bite her.
Yep. So Zelina gets the win over Zoe Stark. I'm sure everyone who hates Zoe Stark was happy to hear that, especially with one of their favorites. Imagine if Zoe Stark beat Zelina Vega. There would be war, goddammit.
Yeah, then we went to the main event, which started with Sammy and Jay sort of backstage for Jay's entrance. There were a lot of, I noticed, awkward fans, sort of half trying for high fives and then sort of giving up and sidling away.
I do love a good mezzanine. I do.
It's really funny every time.
Someone gave them foam fingers, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did the secret handshake with the foam fingers.
Yeah, I like that.
Looked amazing. Oh
yeah,
boy,
it's good to see that back.
Also good to see Jey Uso back in a tag team capacity.
Yeah,
which is where he belongs.
Indeed.
I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah, be good to have the Usos back properly as a team again.
Yeah. This was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, a good match versus Finn Balor and McDonagh.
Yeah, it was a non-title match. What some people might call an eliminator match in terms of how it played out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought this was great. This was four very good workers in their environments.
Definitely.
JD McDonagh, man, he is so good.
Yeah, he really is.
I think at the moment he's been brought onto the main roster, and he's basically putting his dues in, isn't he? He's like, okay, I'll job for everyone. I'll do the job for everyone. I'll prop up the Judgment Day, and I think he's really earning his stars. And I think one day that's gonna come home to roost. And I'm hoping he'll get a decent push because he's so good in the ring. He's fine on the mic. He's probably going to be Finn Balor 2.0, isn't he? In terms of how he's going.
But, I expect so.
Yeah, he's just so good. Love him.
Yeah. But Sammy Uso pick up the win because Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere to spear Sammy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was because Sammy Uso wins and then Braun comes down.
Yeah, so Sammy and Jay get the win, which is, they've pinned the tag champions. Oh my God.
Was it with the 1D?
It was with the 1D, yeah.
Yeah. Nice to see that again. With the 3D.
Yeah. So, Dudley Death Drop, isn't it? They call it.
Yeah, that's right.
And then one and done for the Usos. But yeah, they win with the 1D. They've pinned the tag champions, so they get a tag title shot at some point.
That is what that means.
That is what that means. Excuse me. So, do we see Sammy and Jay win the tag titles? And is that how they... Because if Sammy's going to join the Bloodline stuff and Jay is going to join the Bloodline stuff, they need to find a way to get them over to SmackDown, surely. And now we've got 2 sets of titles, so that doesn't work either. So, creative's going to have to get creative. to kind of shift them over to SmackDown if that's what they plan on doing. Because the Bloodline are drafted to SmackDown, so
Yeah.
don't know how they do it. There's so many moving parts here. We need to get Jimmy back. You've got Hikuleo coming in. Roman's got to come back. Paul Heyman's got to come back.
Yeah. I think Paul comes back with Roman, surely.
Yeah, I think I can see SummerSlam ending with the words "Ladies and gentlemen." Paul Heyman coming out and then Roman coming out with a stare down solo end. That's how I do it personally.
I like that.
Yeah, I'd have Roman come back before Jimmy personally, because Roman's going to come back, and then he'll have to amass his army, and that's when you'll get Jimmy, Sammy, Jay, etc. Book it, Tony, if you're listening. And yeah, and then afterwards we had Bronathan Breakker come out and spear Sami Zayn.
Bronjamin, yeah.
Bronjamin. I believe that's the second week in a row Braun has closed the show.
Yeah.
Big things.
Big pushes.
Big things for Braun Breakker. But yeah, Monday Night Raw, solid show. I think there have been better episodes in the last few weeks, but nothing truly offensive on the show.
No, really good. Solid, yeah, as you say.
SummerSlam looks tasty. Speaking of tasty, A.I.W. Dynamite. Which I thought was largely tasty. And we'll talk about what wasn't so tasty shortly. But yeah, how do we start off with this one?
Quite a funny opening, actually.
So yeah, this was just before you start, this was going head to head with Joe Biden's addressing the nation as to why he's dropping out of the upcoming election. So I think what they did here was fucking fantastic.
Yeah. So opens with Ospreay in what looks like a parking garage with Alex Marvez trying to get a word in, trying to get a scoop, as he does.
Yeah.
And then Ospreay notices a knife in the tire of his vehicle.
It's a crime.
I wonder who could have done that.
Oh, no idea. I'm going to go with Serpentico.
Yeah, probably. But the funny bit was then he asks Marvez if he's got a car, asks him for his keys, and then just commandeers Alex Marvez's car with Marvez in the back.
Yeah, Marvez says, have you ever driven in America? And Ospreay goes, no. Another crime. That's double crime in the opening segment.
Yeah, I thought that was a really funny start.
Yeah, it was good. I love Marvez, love Ospreay. What's not to love?
It was good chemistry. And then we had MJF in the ring on Dynamite with a promo to open. And it was typical MJF being smarmy.
Yeah, it's I said on Twitter it was MJF back to his best, I think.
Yeah.
It's what we've missed.
Really funny promo saying how it was the easiest match of his life. And after it he was on oxygen.
And he said wrestling analysts are calling it the most efficient wrestling match ever. The most convincing wrestling win ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can think of a few wrestling analysts who would fit that mold.
Yeah. Just a couple.
And he had like a podium in the ring, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think whenever you see a podium covered in a cloak, 99 times out of 100, that means one thing and one thing only. That it is a championship belt.
It does.
So yeah, where do we go from here?
He continues being a bit savage, talking about Will's grandma dying recently.
Yeah.
Calls out Will, knowing he's not there. And then starts to talk about the belt. And how the international belt has really symbolized the best wrestler.
Yeah.
And it's been like a workhorse belt. But he chucks it in the bin.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't see the bin at first, and then all of a sudden there's just this bin at ringside. So oh, that's cool.
How convenient. And then he says he deserves a title that symbolizes A, the best wrestler, but B, the best country in the world. And reveals that the international title is now going to be known as the American Championship.
Yeah, I got a bit butthurt with his comments about the UK, but I guess
Yeah.
that was the whole design of the promo, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the
Me
point.
sat in my room going, "Boo,
Exactly.
boo, fuck you, MJF."
And then he reveals quite possibly the most garish belt I've ever seen in my entire life.
Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked about belts in the state of WWE, but this one's tragic.
It's a bit of an eyesore, isn't it? But I feel like I think I said on social media, it's so gross. I love it.
Yeah, you can tell it's on purpose.
It's a bit of an
on the
irony, yeah,
nose.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no way anyone would look at that and go, "Yeah, that's a good belt." But yeah, I thought the segment was great, and then we had William. He arrived in Marvez's car. I want to know where he was because it looked like he was in the arena, and then he kind of got into Marvez's car and drove back
To the arena.
Yeah, he went from the arena. Did he go to the wrong arena with Marvez?
Maybe.
And he's like, "Oh
I
shit,
don't know if
oh,
it was explained.
shit, bro, we need to get to the right arena." Where were they? Little Rock, Arkansas, I think, or was that the week before? I don't know, but
I'm not sure.
yeah, Ospreay arrives, bruv.
It does.
And my feed cut out here, so I missed most of Ospreay's promo. Unfortunately, I heard the word Trump, and that was it.
Yeah, the fight feed I watched was the same.
Okay, goddamn Triller.
It's unfortunate. But yeah, I think he says he met with Tony Khan and Chris Daniels to book the rematch for All In. That was the main takeaway of Ospreay's promo.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what the actual promo was, because we got shafted, evidently.
Yeah, if you got a link.
Yeah. Yeah, all those non-Triller users, get down in the comments.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy this. I guess my only criticism probably ties into the main event storyline. Because obviously we've gone from the Elite giving TK a Tony Khan driver and taking over the company.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got Tony Khan giving matches to Roderick Strong and giving matches to Will Ospreay. It's just like I don't really feel any kind of power struggle in the company.
No. I mean, appearing straight after being tombstoned, like in the media, was always going to dumb it down a bit.
Yeah, even with the
Like
little neck brace he had, and then he obviously made some quite unsavory comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not talk about that right now.
No.
But yeah, Tony Khan has made it official that MJF versus Will Ospreay, the rematch, is official for All In London, bruv.
Yes, Bob.
It's gonna be fantastic, isn't it? That crowd, Will Ospreay versus MJF. I think MJF is the perfect person to generate heat in any scenario possible.
Yeah, and he will.
Yeah,
definitely.
I want to see him arrive in the arena on a giant eagle, wearing nothing but the American flag, like a loincloth, a star-spangled loincloth.
You know he's going to have some form of America attire.
Yeah, like have him come down on like a Statue of Liberty animatronic or something. Like just
Mr.
massive.
America.
Yeah. Just give him Lex Luger's entrance.
Yes.
Like I'll be your hero and everything.
Mm-mm.
The Max Express, as
Yes.
someone called it. Shout out to Adam for that. That was funny.
Nice.
But yeah, great segment, great start to the show. What was next?
And then we had a little backstage segment with the Elite supposed to flip to see who gets the advantage.
Oh yeah, Daniels was like on the floor, wasn't he?
Yeah, they've beaten up Daniels and used their own coin, which turns out to be a double-sided coin.
Refs being stupid in 2024.
Yeah, so
poor refs, man.
Bryce just falls for it.
God, Bryce.
So the heroes have the advantage.
Yeah, Bryce none the wiser. No change there. So yeah, heels get the advantage in a blood and gut / war game style match. I am particularly surprised about that. That's never happened before.
Yeah,
it just makes sense, doesn't it? Heels get the advantage.
Yeah, that's generally how they go, isn't it?
Just you just box yourself into it, don't you?
Yep.
What was next?
Hi guys.
Oh my god! Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Your favorite match of the night?
yeah, I thought AEW Dynamite was great. I think AEW's on a roll recently. Jericho versus Suzuki. Now, I understand if people like this kind of thing. That's good. Great. Good for you. And I said that when we started this podcast that everything that we say needs to be prefaced with, in my opinion, or this is our subjective kind of feelings.
Yeah.
This was fucking ass, man. This was so bad.
Yeah. Like a little bit of chopping. Okay, yeah.
A little bit. Oh yeah, I was gonna say. I thought,
That's fine.
I
Yeah,
thought,
that's allowable.
I thought you were describing the match. I was like, hold up.
But an entire match worth. It must have gone, what, 15, 20 minutes at least.
Which is 21 minutes too long.
Yeah. So it was just chops and chops and chops and more chops. Jericho's tip bleeding. And then more chops.
Yep. And then Jericho wins, lol.
Yeah, because Bill and Keith.
I think AEW do a lot of this. You chop me and I'll chop you, and it must be a New Japan thing. It must be.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen it in North American wrestling. I'm not a fan of it. I can see why people do it, because maybe it's like a test of resolve kind of thing.
Yeah. So a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, it spices up a match a bit sometimes.
But when the combined age of your opponents in this match are 109,
yeah,
and there's a title on the line, and somebody gave it 4 stars, right?
that's nuts.
4 stars, right? So apparently this match was as good as most Kurt Angle matches. That's what is being fed to the community. So
it definitely wasn't.
No, it definitely wasn't. This was, for me, just a waste of time. And I mean, Minoru Suzuki, I'm not familiar with his career. I'm sure he's had a great career, but he offers nothing to this company. And he's New Japan, isn't he? Still, he's not a signed AEW talent, right?
Yeah.
Forbidden Doors closed, Tony. It closed June 30th at 5 a.m. whenever it finished. And I think from a New Japan perspective, it probably should stay closed, because I think we've seen it. We've seen Shibata, we've seen Suzuki on weekly TV. It doesn't really feel special anymore. You signed the best talents from New Japan.
Yeah.
Maybe do something with CMLL going forward or someone else. But I think the New Japan AEW thing is just getting really old now. And things like this don't do it any favors whatsoever for me.
No, it was a bit much.
But Jericho wins. We're probably getting a Stadium Stampede. Oh, God. Are we going to get Suzuki in a Stadium Stampede match?
Probably.
Okay. So Jericho, Redwood, Brian Keith, and some other poor bastard who joins the Learning Tree versus Suzuki, Shibata, Hook, and Samoa Joe if he's done filming with Twisted Metal. I mean, Stadium Stampede matches are probably fun, and I think for people in this match, it's probably for the best, because it's not wrestling match, it's just chaos, isn't it? So I'm sure it'll be fun. But yeah, let's move on, shall we?
We shall.
What was
on
next?
To Shida versus Britt.
Yeah, Britt's first match back. Very good to see.
Yeah, good opponent. Shida's pretty solid.
Yeah, they got history as well, these two. A lot of title matches between these two back in the day.
Yeah,
thought it was a very wise choice. Well done, Tony.
Yeah, good match as expected.
Yeah, minimal ring rust.
Yeah,
I think she probably looked like someone who hadn't wrestled for 11 months. But I thought she did fine.
Yeah. But it was more on what happened after the match. So Britt picks up the win.
Yeah.
And Mercedes Moan comes out and says no to a match still.
Yeah.
But then, from behind, Britt is attacked by none other than Camille.
The giant Camille, who has finally debuted in AEW after being signed for what feels like an eternity.
Yeah, finally.
I think this is a good move. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, definitely have the heater for Mercedes Moan.
Yeah, and I saw some people saying, "Oh, the debut was underwhelming." And it's like, well, she's not a future world champion. Yeah, she's. It's not. This isn't Cody Rhodes coming back. You know, this is Camille, who not many people know. I didn't know about her until I saw the reports that, you know, she'd signed with A.I.W months ago. I knew she was big. I knew she was intimidating. And yeah, it's, you know, people making comparisons to HBK and Diesel or Sable and Nicole Bass. If you remember those days.
Yeah, a bit better looking than Nicole Bass. Just a bit.
Just a tad, yeah. I think this is a good move. I think she'll probably be joined by the Renegade Twins at some point as well.
Ooh, yeah.
As like a little faction. And more importantly, I think, is that this paves the way for a returning Jamie Hayter.
Yes,
who is
been so long.
Very good friends with Brittany Baker.
Yes, she is.
And she's been out since Double or Nothing 2023. That is 14 months. Crazy.
I know.
I think they have to be careful with Jamie Hayter's return, because Jamie Hayter probably wouldn't have lost the title at Double or Nothing if she wasn't injured. So do you want to bring her back as Muscle? Or do you want to kind of bring her back, get that out of the way, and then get her back in the main event scene where she probably belongs? I don't really know how we do that, but let's just get her back and deal with the questions after.
Yeah, she'll have a huge pop either way.
And Britt versus Mercedes is official for All in Wembley. It was made official at some kind of a Comic-Con thing they went to on Thursday. So that is official now.
Nice.
Tony Khan did Tony Khan things at that event, as I'm sure you can imagine.
As you do.
He's a walking meme, isn't he? But do we get a returning Jamie Hayter in London? As she is from Southampton, I believe, which isn't far from London. So
unlike Newcastle.
Unlike Newcastle, which is very far from London. So yeah, that's official for All In. Again, man, All In looks fucking great. Yeah, I'm so excited. So excited.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
It's bank holiday weekend for us as well. So it's on Sunday, 8 o'clock, Monday off work. God, I might have to get the barbecue out.
Yeah, good times.
What was next?
Next was a short match between Pac and Boulder Bear.
Oh, the big, Pac versus large hairy man.
Yeah, and all I've really noted is fucking yeet brainbuster from Pac.
Yeah, I think there was a moonsault in there from the big guy at some point.
Yeah, he missed one.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick, but Pac with a very quick lift and drop to the brainbuster to like a huge man.
Yeah, very impressive feat of strength. And it was very much see you later, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was fully expecting him to have to win with the Black Arrow or something like that.
Yeah,
but
to
lift him like that was brilliant.
Unexpected. Pretty cut and dry stuff here. Pac gets the win very quickly. What does Pac do for All In? I'm thinking Pac said he wants his Wembley moment. He won that Fatal 4-Way, so I assume he's facing the winner of MJF versus Ospreay All Out, maybe, which I'm fine with. In terms of him getting on All In, what do you reckon Pac versus Ricochet?
Potentially.
If we can get Ricochet, because Pac can lose because he's won a match to get #1 contendership, so he can lose to Ricochet. Don't want Ricochet losing his first match.
Yeah.
Open the show. Ricochet and Pac open All In Wembley, get the crowd up.
Yeah, big surprise, big pop.
And then hopefully Will Ospreay can beat MJF at Wembley. Will Ospreay can beat Pac at All Out, and then we can do Will Ospreay Ricochet at Wrestle Dream, whatever their next show is. Potentially. Something like that. I mean, Ricochet is a free agent now, I think. I think they said mid-July, didn't they? So
yeah,
he can show up anytime now. He might show up, but he's still got 4 weeks till All In. 4 weeks today, I think it is.
Yeah.
28 days away. But yeah, Pack at All In is going to be interesting. I'm curious what they do.
Yes. Be interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah. What was next?
Then we had a backstage segment with Team AEW, sort of semi falling out with each other.
Yeah. I thought this was interesting at the time. Swerve was like, "I'm the leader," and they're like, "We don't give a shit." So
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, whoa. Darby Allin seemed particularly perturbed by this.
Yeah, he sort of started it all.
And spoiler alert, guys, Darby Allin won the Royal Rampage. So he is, I believe, the #1 contender for the world title after All In.
Ooh.
So we're getting Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland. Well, I'm assuming Swerve beats Danielson, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, a bit of discourse between the baby faces here.
Yeah, with Briscoe being the voice of reason.
Oh yeah, I needed to get my Briscoe translator out.
Yeah.
I need a dictionary for this man. I really do.
Put the subtitles on.
Yeah.
But yeah, sort of gives a fiery promo about it being about taking out the elite.
Yeah.
But yeah, building the main event a bit more.
Yeah, it's good to hear from both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Following that, we had the Glamour, Mariah May.
Yes, Mariah May.
In a squash match versus a local yokel.
Oh, it was a legit jobber, wasn't it?
Yeah, Caitlin Alexis, I think.
Caitlin Alexis. Strong name. But yeah, this was all to they kind of tried to do like a bait and switch, didn't they? They did a fake out. So Mariah, obviously, I think she did like a collection of Tony Storm's moves, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. With the quick win.
Yeah, she did the hip attack. She did Storm Zero. And then we had Tony Storm's music playing.
Yeah. And then Tony unmasks.
Yeah, because she like someone jumps in the ring because Mariah sort of laughs like, "Ha ha ha! I'm playing her music to trick you." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
And then someone just gets in the ring and takes off the mask, and it's Tony looking like an absolute maniac.
Yeah, it still kind of looks timeless.
Yeah, her hair's more, and she wrestled against Taya Valkyrie at Battle of the Belts last night, I think, and she had like a slick back hair, like not like Marilyn Monroe style. So I think she's changed the hairstyle, but I think it is largely timeless.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I thought this was effective. Nice to see Tony back. She sold the attack for a week, which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't really have time to sell it for more than that. Loads of refs and security got in the ring, and Tony screams to Mariah, "Are you ready to die?" Because I am. I think this
looking forward to the match.
It's got the most heat out of anything on the card.
Yeah.
Huge. That's also official for All In. Tony Storm defends against Mariah May. I reckon that should be very, very well placed on the card.
Yeah, high up. Should be, anyway.
Yeah, I think it deserves it. But yeah, I think it's the best story in AEW at the moment. And yeah, that's not me saying that there aren't other good stories. I just think it's really good. And I think it's been built for a long time and it's been told very well and the characters have been great and we're getting a big payoff at the right place and hopefully it's the right result in Mariah May winning. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We will. And then we had the main event. Blood and guts.
So not only are we getting blood, we're getting guts as well.
At the same time.
At the same time. We are spoiled as wrestling fans, aren't we?
We are indeed.
So we had the heels with the advantage. So it was Jackie Perry first, wasn't it?
Yep. Jack Perry and then Darby All In.
Darby All In.
From Team AEW.
Yeah.
And they start, but sort of fight through the crowd and then end up in the ring.
Yeah.
brawl for quite a bit, and then we get Nick Jackson next.
Can I just say I really like the Bucks theme tune.
The new one,
the piano one. Yeah,
it's
very
it's
very good.
It seems mafia-esque.
It does, yeah.
To me,
It seems like a Final Fantasy evil corporation theme tune.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure it is. Everything they do is like, I'm sure the elite love their Final Fantasy. So, but yeah, Nicholas, can't call him Nick anymore. Get fined.
Nicholas comes in with a briefcase and a chair.
Yeah, what's in the box?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of cases they bring in throughout the entrances.
Yeah.
But Nick enters the ring with a nice looking leg drop.
Yeah.
And then trash can cage sandwich Darby I've written. So they get Darby basically down the side of the ring.
Yeah, I saw that. He falls.
Cage. Yeah, and then they put a trash can in front of him and hit him with a drop kick that looked pretty savage.
Nice.
We had Briscoe next for the A.I.W.
Oh boy.
Naturally, being the fresh man, goes wild and gets the advantage for Team A.I.W.
Can I just say, I think a lot of people, including myself, questioned, why is Mark Briscoe in this match? I think I read somewhere that he, it was actually supposed to be Eddie Kingston, but
sense.
because he's injured, so Mark Briscoe kind of filled the gap. So if that is the case, then that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, both as bonkers as each other, really.
Yeah, essentially.
Then we had Matthew next.
Matthew.
He's not been in before.
they are the same person. They are the same person, aren't they?
Basically, yeah. And I've noted next that Briscoe's busted open already, which didn't take long. So the Elite take control, and then we get Anthony Bowens in for A.I.W.
Yeah.
Has a really hot start. Get some good offense in. But then gets a case thrown at his head.
Ouch.
We had a savage spot from Darby doing the old thumbtack skateboard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Onto Matthew Jackson.
He starts picking them out of his side, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's all up in his arm. And I think he gets Jack Perry to pick them out later in the match. And then we had a pretty savage spot where Bowens grabs some actual scissors and takes them to Jack Perry's head and across his mouth.
Uncomfortable to watch, to say the least.
Yeah, with that garnered the first "You sick fuck" chant of the night.
God damn it.
Yeah, and then we had Carter coming in with a Rainmaker Drive street sign.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty funny. And he cleans house with the sign. And that's when we get Perry picking the tacks out of Matthew Jackson's arm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then next I've just noted table incoming. And Max Caster incoming for A.I.W. with a mic.
Oh,
glad he wasn't talking.
Yeah.
Apparently he just brought it in to hit people with.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's fitting for the match type.
Yeah. I much prefer that. Then we had a pretty horrible spot. Barbed wire board sandwich.
Oh, this was
being the meat.
Yeah, this was savage. I loved it. I loved it.
Sponson onto it was horrible looking.
Yeah, they always find a way to make me see something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
I mean, this might have been done in A.I.W. before, but I couldn't remember anything off the top of my head, so I just pretend it was brand new. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah. Very good. Very brutal. Then there were tacks put in Max Caster's mouth before taking a super kick.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Shut him up.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for someone to do that for weeks. Stop him rapping.
Yeah. And then we had Hangman's music play. And the Elite all sort of turned to the ramp, but Hangman's not there.
Yeah.
So Team A.I.W. take the distraction and take the advantage.
And we knew what was coming here, didn't we?
I be honest, I didn't think that was what they were going for. I thought they were just having Hangman just not show up at the time.
Yeah, I guess
To be
so. And
honest.
then I think Swerve obviously makes his entrance after, because now technically Team A.I.W have the advantage, don't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, carry
But
on. Sorry, I interrupted.
that's all right. Hangman, then out of nowhere, close to the cage, I think it was, attacks Swerve while he's making his entrance.
Yeah, with a
An
chair
ambush.
right to the side, wasn't it? With a chair
Yeah.
right to the shoulder.
And then he goes to handcuff Swerve to the cage.
Yep.
Well, both arms, like a crucifix almost. Then I've noted Nana gets wrecked.
Yeah.
So
poor Nana.
yeah, gets forearmed by Hangman, and Hangman's just wailing on Swerve while he's handcuffed. Which is when Matt picks up a mic and yells at Hangman, "What are you doing? We had a deal," and then tells him if he doesn't get in the ring that he's fired.
I love this. I really do. Like, this Hangman dynamic with the Elite is really good.
Yeah,
Because Hangman doesn't give a shit about Blood and Guts, the Elite, Tony Khan. All he cares about is Swerve Strickland.
yeah, and it's played out really, really well.
Yeah. So Hangman, obviously, the threat of being fired means he can't get his hands on Swerve, so he gets in the ring, doesn't he?
Yep. And then the match officially starts, even with Swerve still outside.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, because Matt says, "I'm an EVP, start the match."
Yep. Hangman and Okada kind of square up.
Mm.
But then Team AEW attack.
Yep.
And then I've got Jeff Jarrett out of nowhere.
Double J. Ain't he great?
Classic. And then Brandon Cutler sort of comes out to try and get rid of Jeff Jarrett, which is when we see Daddy Ass.
Yeah.
And then Cutler taking a really horrid looking guitar shot where it's the top of his head is sort of poking through.
I think Cutler
Stuck over his face.
is my favorite jobber.
He really is brilliant.
Yeah. So at this point, it's chaos, isn't it? Because everyone's trying to uncuff Swerve from the cage.
Yeah, so Jeff and Daddy Ass managed to get him free.
Yep.
Eventually. I don't know if they were struggling to, because they had to cut away for a little bit.
Yeah, I was expecting them to bring in like a bulldozer just to rip the cage down at some point.
Yeah.
Just trying different things to get him uncuffed.
Yeah, but then once they got him uncuffed, instead of sort of cutting through the door, they cut bottom section of the cage out.
Yeah, yeah.
By the ramp, so Swerve could then get in the ring. Swerve takes out everyone but Hangman, who's in the other ring.
They get the face off.
They have a stare down, yep. And as expected, they both sort of meet in the middle of the two rings and just unload.
Yep.
Hangman gets the upper hand, hits him into one ring and tries the buckshot. Gets countered. And then we get the staple guns.
Oh, yeah.
Which are in one of the cases.
A staple of this match.
Yeah. So it's basically like a bully pit, basically. The Elite all around Swerve with the staple guns, just shooting him with them relentlessly.
Oh, boy. Brutal. Yeah, stapling the skin is, I can only imagine, quite painful. I've not experienced it myself.
No,
be pretty weird.
To.
Be pretty weird if I had experienced it.
Yeah, let's just see what it's like.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe you're at school. It's like, can I staple you? It's like, no, go away.
Please don't.
No, please leave me alone. But yeah, it sounds horrible. It looks horrible, and I'm sure it feels horrible.
Yeah. By all accounts, horrible.
Yeah. Was this the bit where Okada sticks his finger up and gets it stapled? That was funny.
Yeah, I think so.
That was quite funny.
So we had the staple guns. And then we had Swerve and Hangman fighting up the ramp and sort of to the right of the right-hand tunnel as you look at them to go for a table off the stage spot.
Oh, yeah, and that's them finished, isn't it? We don't see them, I think, for the rest of the match.
Yep. And then Matt and Anthony Bowens are out of the ring now, fighting on the stage, closely followed by Max Caster and Nick Jackson.
Yep.
But they're only out there to get more tables, which they arrange in a classic 4-stack.
Yep.
Which you can tell something's coming.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes pretty quickly when Bowens and Nick climbing up the side of the cage. And Bowens gets his head bonked onto the cage one too many times and falls backwards, free fall through the 4 tables.
It looked like he fell through in slow motion, didn't it?
Yeah.
He kind of just...
sort of reminiscent of, when Shane McMahon off the Backlash, when he gets hit by Steve Blackman.
Yeah, Steve Blackman, yeah.
And he just sort of, for a moment, seems to hang there.
Yeah.
And then just crashes. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, obviously, that Shane McMahon spot was ridiculous. Still is.
Mental.
Yeah.
So that was mad.
Bowens is done as well. So that's another one. I think he's done. He's done.
And then we've got a table in between the rings and another in the second ring inside. And then Jay Drillers for everyone from Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
And then we've got Jack Perry on the second ring table, Matthew Jackson on the middle one. And we've got Matt Jackson taking a froggy bow. And Darby then climbs sort of up the side along the top of the cage like Spider-Man and just coffin drops through Jack Perry through the table off the top of the cage.
Yeah, great spot.
Amazing, yeah.
We were sort of like wondering like what is Darby Allin going to coffin drop off of?
Yeah.
I honestly thought he was just going to do it off the top of the cage to the floor, like through a table or something, but this was fine. This was great. Safe.
Yeah. A bit more innovative, yeah, a bit safer.
Yeah, a bit safer.
Then we get another case opened up, and it's full of handcuffs.
Oh boy! Speaking of safe,
yeah. Well, not so safe. So Jack Perry gets handcuffed to the back end of the cage from the door.
Yeah.
Much like Swerve was earlier outside.
Yeah.
One arm up, the other arm up. And then he's hit with a kendo stick a few times, and they're trying to get him to quit, but he won't. Then Darby says, "Okay, let's get this party started," which is when is it Briscoe that hits Perry with the unprotected chair shot to the head?
Oh my god, the chair shot heard around the world. I think it's worth talking about because it was a big topic of conversation throughout the week.
Yeah.
This looked and sounded absolutely hideous.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it was meant to, but
yeah. And now I can understand a few things. So I understand the chair had scapegoat written on it, so it was obviously set apart from the other chairs.
Mm-hmm.
That basically says use this chair because it's somehow different than the other ones. I see the phrase gimmicked chair on social media a lot. I don't really know what a gimmick chair is or how it works, but I think what they basically did was Mark Briscoe, he swung this chair like he wanted to fucking murder someone. Like he swung it with ridiculous force, and it collided with Jack Perry's head, and it made a very loud sound. Now, in order to get that sound to be that loud, it involves heavy impact of a solid material colliding with another solid material. So, on one hand, okay, it was a gimmick chair. On the other hand, that is still a blow to the head.
Yeah.
And I think, Corey Graves tweeted about it. And he started off the tweet with, "This isn't meant to cause any discourse or further any kind of us versus them," which unfortunately it did, because that's the world we live in. But I think, and Corey got a lot of hate for it, and he deleted the tweet. But, I think Corey Graves was right. I think even if, I get that AEW wants to, do things that are not seen anywhere else. But I think with this type of thing, it's probably just worth leaving it altogether. Like, even if it, because, Tony Khan always says that he gets a lot of bad faith criticism. And he says, "Oh, people criticize AEW for everything." I think if you do something like this, then you're going to get criticism that is in bad faith and in good faith. And this is a good faith criticism right here. But
Yeah.
I think when it comes to anything relating to blows to the head, whether it's like safe or disguised or not, I just think don't do it. I don't think there's any need to. Like,
Got to be careful.
yeah, and AEW has enough things in this match that can create shock value. It's blood and guts, because that's the most brutal match they do. They've got, they set someone on fire. They hung somebody upside down from the roof a few weeks ago. They've got Stadium Stampede coming up. They've got exploding super kicks. They kick people with, thumbtacks in their mouth. They drink each other's blood. We don't need chair shots to the head, whether they're safe or not internally. But I just think that for the sound it made and the speed and the force that was used, there's going to be some collision to the head. And he was tied up, so there's no putting your hand in front of it.
Nope.
So, if you hit somebody that hard with paper, it doesn't make a sound. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair point.
But yeah, I thought it was not needed, not necessary. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah. Still, it happened.
Yeah, it still happened, and I was like, holy shit, when I heard that.
Yeah. It was like a gunshot.
Yeah.
But he's still not quitting.
Nope.
So, of course, Darby pulls out a gas can.
Yeah.
Well, what you expect is going to be gasoline.
Yeah.
And douses Jack Perry with it.
No, it really says something, where the first thing I thought of when Darby Allin was threatening to set someone on fire is, I've already seen this. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm not surprised at all, because I've seen this happen very recently, which is crazy. But we didn't get that far, thankfully.
No, we didn't. So Darby challenges for a match for the TNT title, or he'll light him on fire. To which Matthew Jackson gives him the match.
Yep.
Says he'll give him whatever he wants, as long as he doesn't set him on fire. So Darby asks Matt to quit, and Matt quits.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people say the ending was quite anticlimactic. I think, like, with blood and guts, like, it's only submission or forfeit, isn't it? There's no pinfalls.
Yeah. That's right.
I think that kind of hurts it a little bit.
A little.
Maybe you should have pinfalls, but I didn't think it was that anticlimactic. I thought it told a good story. I think Jack not giving up made him look like a bit of a badass.
Yeah, definitely.
Is Jack going to be upset with, Matt Jackson or Nick Jackson for quitting on his behalf?
Possibly.
Now, thanks to them, Jack's got to defend his TNT title against Darby Allin. So Darby Allin's got a TNT title shot All In.
Yep.
And I presume he won Royal Rampage, so he's next in line for Swerve as well.
Yeah.
So I assume Jack's beating Darby Allin at All In. Maybe we get Darby and Swerve All Out. Don't know where Hangman fits in.
No. Maybe he's still going nuts, destroying things.
Well, I want to say this about Hangman. Hangman, for all things considered, is a babyface, because this man has done nothing wrong in the entire time of this storyline. This man has done absolutely nothing wrong. Swerve broke into his house and was looming over his child. And Hangman's been out for revenge. Hangman has not sided with the Elite. He has not done anything heel-ish. He wants revenge on the man who invaded his home. So Hangman's a babyface as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what we do with Hangman at All In. Maybe Hangman Okada.
Maybe
They've been teasing that a couple of times.
Had that little moment in the cage.
Yeah, and a few weeks ago as well, when he went to see the Elite, and Okada was like the bouncer, kind of pushing him away.
Yeah.
And Okada needs to defend that title against someone. It's been a while.
Yeah, definitely.
I assume they're just waiting for Kenny Omega to return to get the real feud going between Omega and Okada. But I think Hangman has done enough character work to be on the All In card, so I hope we get Hangman Okada.
Yeah,
Obviously,
match at least.
obviously we're getting Hangman Swerve at some point. It needs the title involved because we've seen it 3 times without the title.
Yeah,
So Hangman needs to beat Bryan Danielson for me. I get that it's Danielson's last year, but I think we said last time, didn't we, that, you know, Danielson hasn't been very selfish at all in AEW, and I don't think that starts now.
no, I don't think he needs one. I don't think he thinks he needs one.
No, and it benefits Swerve more, because if Swerve can beat Ospreay and Danielson at consecutive pay-per-views, then that really solidifies him as a top world champion.
Yeah.
Whereas before, he was beating like Christian Cage, Roderick Strong, no disrespect to those guys. But if he beats Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson consecutively, clean.
Yeah.
And then I think he'll beat Hangman as well. So I think Swerve will go 4-0, I think. Would it be 4-0?
Yeah, that'd be good.
3-0. And then I think Swerve will beat Darby Allin. Long term, who does Swerve lose the title to? Probably, I would say Will Ospreay. Eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe at like World's End or something.
The end of the world.
Yeah, because Swerve won it in Dynasty, didn't he? Which was March or April. So 8-month title reign. Nothing to sniff at, is it? It's more than most people in AEW.
No, yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, that was Blood and Guts.
That was in all its glory.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for SummerSlam. I'm excited for All In. Just excited in general for wrestling at the moment. It's fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah,
For the first,
apart from, got SmackDown treading water, but it's not awful.
No, it's not. No, I think both companies are, for the first time in a long time, both companies are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, and
when they need to be
making up for it.
Yeah.
The dub.
But yeah, this was our wrestling recap for the Sunday, the 28th of July. We'll be back on the next episode for our deep dive into NXT in the wonderful world of Shawn Michaels.
Chef Shawn.
And A.I.Jeff's back as well.
The man himself.
The man himself. The being himself / herself.
Yes.
A.I.Jeff will be giving us things to discuss NXT. He'll be singing a song about Shawn Michaels. And I'm looking forward to this one because NXT, I think, has been through a lot of transformation. So we're going to go through exactly where it's been, what it is now, what we think is going to be in the future. But until then, we will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Bye.